So, in making of this bag, you need any fabric of choice, but the leather has to be a two-faced leather. In case you're wondering what a two-faced leather is, this is what a two-faced leather is. As you can see, it doesn't have the wrong side. It's thick and it doesn't need a lining. So the leather that is used for the bag is a two-faced leather. So you're going to be using a two-faced leather, and the fabric is a jute fabric. In case you want to recreate it, but you can use any fabric of choice. So having established the materials used, let's go straight into the tutorial. So I'm going to be using this chain fabric. I am not focusing on the measurements because I really don't know the measurements. So I'm not working on the measurement. I'm working on my own measurement, and I am using this leather. Okay, I am using this leather. So what you're going to go ahead and do is to measure out the fabric that you want. So you measure out the fabric that you want and the measurements that you want. Then the leather you're going to be using is going to be like this. Okay, it's going to be over. All right, so it's going to be like this. Can you see what I'm doing? It's going to be like this. Then it will be long enough to carry because it is just one straight fabric. So you join it at this side. So what we are going to go ahead and do now is to go to our machine and we'll join it at the bottom. If you're wondering the measurements to use, the measurement on that bag is 3 inches. So you go ahead and join it at the bottom like this. Join it at the bottom like this. So after joining it, this is what it looks like. It is one straight fabric. All right, then now what you're going to go ahead and do now is to start making the opening for your, what's it called, for your strings. Okay, so you start by folding it this side so that it does not have any rough opening. Then you fold it in like this. Then since it's a fabric, you have to fold it twice. You have to fold in that edge, then you do like this, then you sew in. You determine how wide you want it to be. Then when you get to this point as well, you fold this side in, then you fold this side in again, then you stitch it. When I'm done stitching, you understand what I'm saying. Because if you just open it like this and sew, this place will be unraveling, and you don't want that. So you have to fold in the edges like this, then you fold it like this, then you fold it, because you cannot sew it like this, you have to fold it in again, then you stitch. So this is what it should look like. You see, it's not rough. Go. This is what it should look like when you're done sewing. Now the next thing you go ahead and start doing now is to put it together like this. Okay, then you start stitching. You make a knot on the bottom, then you make a knot on this other bottom. Let's see, does it have shape? Okay, you give it a tiny curve here so that it will not come out square. Do the same thing on the second one. So then you now put your fabric, all right, put it right side facing each other, then you start sewing. Now when you get to this point, you know you're not going to cover here, so you're going to measure 2 inches from the top like this. Let's use 3 inches from the top like this. Then you are going to stop exactly at that 3 inches. Understand? You're going to stop exactly at that 3 inches. You're going to stop exactly at that 3 inches. So let me stitch, so that I'll stitch this side starting from the middle so that it will not move around. Then you follow the shape. Just keep stitching, just a straight stitch. So if you're using a two-faced leather, the reason why you need to use a two-faced leather is because the bag doesn't have lining or a stabilizer. So in order for it to stand without it having anything inside, you need to use that two-faced leather. And that is the only leather you can use to make that strong handle that you see. All right. So after I was done sewing one side, this is what it looks like. So when you turn it to the right side, this is what you will have. Okay, this is what you will have. So now I am just going to flip it over again, then sew this one to this one. Sew it. I'll sew it again. Okay, stop exactly where we stop. You see the way it is. We stop exactly where we stop. You see the way it is. That's how we are going to stop. So I'll just sew it again. Sew it the same way we sew this other one. So when you are done sewing, this is what it should look like. You see our bag is almost coming together. Now you turn it to the right side. So when you turn it to the right side, this is what it should look like. You see our pattern is together. So now what you're going to go ahead and do now is to give this place a top stitch. Give this place a top stitch. Okay. Give this place a top stitch. All right, give it a top stitch. Give this place a top stitch as well. Give this place a top stitch, and give this place a top stitch. Now for the handle, you go this way. This is how you are going to go. Then you start stitching like this, straight, stitch, stitch, stitch. You stop here as well. You stop here as well. So we'll do that now. Now let's say for instance, after you're done sewing, this is what it should look like, right? But let's say for instance, this hand of course is bigger than the one. Maybe you are using 5 inches for this side. So definitely the 5 inches is too big for the handle. Now what you're going to go ahead and do is to shape it. So I'll lose this one and explain how to go about that other one. Because you're using a two-faced leather, you cannot fold more than twice. It will not, so it will be too bulky to stitch. All right. So now let's say for instance, you are using 5 inches here, 5 inches for the width here. Now what you do is you measure. Give me biro. So you measure from this point. You measure, let's say 4 inches. Make your markings. Now you get the middle. You get the middle like this. Then you will now measure half inches on both sides, just to make sure it is 1 inch wide. Measure half inches on both sides like this. All right. Now when you measure half inches on both sides, you use your ruler to connect the lines all the way to this other side. Let me lose this thing and do it for you so that you see the difference, so that it will bring out that beautiful shape. All right. So that you see the difference. Let me use it and show you. So I only use one side to illustrate because the leather no the equal. So half inches, right? Half inches on both sides so that it will be 1 inch. Like I said, two-faced leather, you cannot fold it more than twice like this. It will be too bulky to stitch. So you continue on that pace. Okay? You continue on that pace. You keep removing it on all sides. You remove it on all sides. You make a marking. Then you do the same thing on this other side, making sure what you have left is 1 inch in the middle. Now I think it has one curve. Let's see. Yes, so you are now going to slant it over like this. This is to slant it over. Just use your free hand to slant it over. Then you cut it off. I'm just going to be using one side to illustrate because the leather is not straight. I'm just using a rough leather that I just have at home because I don't have a two-faced leather to actually, that will be enough for the total length. So this is how it's going to be, right? Now we are going to now start sewing this open ends. We'll sew them like this so that you will see how it's actually look like. So let's just give it a straight stitch. You are sewing the 4 sides. Please, when sewing back, don't sew all the way. This is where you are going to stop. Don't come all the way here. All right, you don't have to come, so that you not close the opening for your this thing, for your rope that is to pass. So you don't sew all the way. This is where you are going to stop. You see where I stop? I just stop here. I do not get all the way. Now for this other side, what you are going to go ahead and do now is to fold and sew. When you fold and sew, you stop at this pointy end. Do you understand what I'm saying? You fold again and sew, so you stop at the pointy end. You do that on the other 4 sides. You fold and sew, then you stop at that pointy end. You know, we shape it now. You know you're going to be using matching thread now. So when you sew, this is what it looks like. Now the next thing to do is to now fold. You see the way it looks like. You see that it's neat at the side, right? Then you will now fold, then give it a straight stitch. You fold and give it a straight stitch from that curvy part. You fold and give it a straight stitch like this. Give it a straight stitch. I need to oil my machine. Please don't forget to, when sewing, always oil your machine so that your thread will not be gathering at the bottom and your leather will not be shifting. So after you're done, this is what it should look like. So it will open up this way. Okay, it will open up this way. So now the next thing you're going to go ahead and do is to put your thread. For your woven, for your this thing, scrunchie. So when you scrunch it in like this, this is what it will look like. You see it, you see the side, and you see the handle. So I'm so sorry I am not using the exact fabric, but I am sure with this my illustration you understand, and then you know how to go about the bag and the handle as well. So when you scrunch it, when you scrunch it in like this, so it will look. So you see, it has come out the shape safe. It has come out the shape. You see, it has come out the shape of the bag. As can you see? It has come out the shape of the bag. You see it? Okay. See, it has come out the shape of the bag. So this is how to go about the bag.